The narcissist needed to know exactly what you were thinking, exactly what you were planning, exactly who you were becoming, exactly where you were going. They needed all of it, cataloged, predicted, and filed in order to feel safe. And you did not even know what you were having for dinner. You just existed, freely, vaguely, completely unbothered, and it broke them. You didn't even try. That's the devastating part. Chosen ones do not operate in straight lines. They never have. You think in layers, you feel in frequencies, you move when you are moved, and go still when stillness is required. Your next chapter cannot be predicted because you have not written it yet. You make decisions by morning that you did not know existed by night. To a healthy person, this is fascinating. To a narcissist, this is a 5-alarm emergency because they cannot control what they cannot forecast, and they cannot forecast what even you do not know yet. You are not confusing them on purpose. You are simply being, and that is somehow the most destabilizing thing you have ever done to them. Let us document what happens when a narcissist encounters someone they simply cannot read. For science, first, they watch you closely. They study your patterns, your habits, your moods, your tone. They are building a file. The file keeps not making sense. You were happy on Tuesday, quiet on Wednesday, completely reinvented by Friday, for no reason they can identify, because sometimes you just felt like it. The file gets longer, the answers get fewer, they start a new file. So they start asking questions, casual questions, strategic questions. What are you thinking? What did you mean by that? Why did you say it like that? And you answered genuinely, which somehow made it worse, because your genuine answer did not match the answer they had already decided you had. You were not being evasive, you were just honest about something that was still forming, and that information does not compute in a control-based operating system. Now they are frustrated, so they do what frustrated narcissists do. They assign you a motive. You are mysterious, on purpose. You are unpredictable, as a weapon. You are confusing them, deliberately, as part of a plan that you have had this whole time. You did not have a plan. You were just deciding whether you wanted soup or salad. But sure, the conspiracy is yours. They have now spent more energy trying to predict you than you have spent on anything this month. They are exhausted. They are obsessed. They are explaining you to people who did not ask. They are up at 2 a.m. reverse engineering a conversation you have already forgotten. And you see, just started a new hobby, found a new interest, made a new plan, changed the plan, and went to sleep unbothered at a reasonable hour. Here is the part that is almost too beautiful. The ambiguity that drives them to the edge is not a defense mechanism. It is not a strategy. It is not something you developed in response to them. It is just who you are. Chosen ones are multidimensional by nature. You contain contradictions. You evolve without permission. You do not owe anyone a preview of who you are becoming next. And that natural, effortless, completely unintentional freedom is the one thing a control-based mind cannot survive contact with. You did not defeat them. You just continued existing in your full range, and they could not keep up. That is not your fault. That is not your problem. That is just Tuesday. I do not owe anyone a map of my becoming. I do not owe anyone a preview of my next move. My depth is not a threat to be managed. It is a frequency they were never meant to access. I move freely. I become fully. And I do it, completely unbothered. If someone has ever accused you of being complicated, unpredictable, or impossible to figure out, and you thought that was a criticism, it was not. It was a confession. Save this. Send it to someone who has been apologizing for their depth. The narcissist built an entire investigation around figuring you out. Multiple files, late nights, witness interviews, and you were just out here not knowing what you wanted for lunch. Be sure to like, share, comment, and follow your tribe of alchemists.